This is Richard Symes with my weekly missionary update from December 16th to December 22nd, 2018. Our Sunday morning sermon was called A Keebaloi Christmas. Our Sunday evening sermon was called The Bahamian Baptizer. And then our Wednesday evening sermon was called He That's Not With Me Is Against Me. We had 102 salvations, and we witnessed to 205 people, and there were 11 baptisms. And that was almost all done in the streets. We were not able to get in any schools because they're on holiday. But I had two interesting encounters with foreigners. The first foreigner was a Canadian guy, and he showed up at our church on Sunday, and he seemed very zealous about the things of God. And I invited him to go soul winning with me, and he did come soul winning with me on Tuesday. And we went out for a couple hours. We had a good time. We got some people saved, and they got baptized. And then we went out a second time. It was starting to get dark out. We walked about 20 minutes to get to the location. And then I started telling him, I was thinking about taking him to a park because there are, more people there. It's easier to get a bunch of people saved. But then there are also a lot of heretics there. And he told me that he liked to debate heretics. And, I told him I try to avoid them. I gave him some scriptures. And eventually we ended up on the reprobate doctrine. And he told me, if what I was saying is true, then he was a reprobate. And he proceeded to tell me that he used to be a necromancer and that he had asked the devil into his heart and that he had made a permanent decision to reject the gospel at one point in his life. And then he told me that he even used to be a sodomite. He was an ex-sodomite. So I was like, well, if that's true, then let's go back and get your stuff. And, we walked back 20 minutes. It was dark out. I was walking ahead. He was following behind, trying to talk to me. But it was the most awkward, 15, 20-minute walk of my life, just walking back to the church to get this guy's stuff and, tell him I never want to see him again. But, it's over now. Praise God. And then the second encounter I had with the foreigner was either yesterday, I think it was yesterday morning. It was a German guy. He started knocking on our gate, and I opened it, and he's just standing there with this big black bag, and he says his wife left him and took all his money and everything that he had. And he was just very forward, very assertive, trying to get in the door. And, he seemed shady. So I recommended him to the police department, which is just down the street. He didn't seem interested. He kept just, trying to get in the door. But, I didn't let him in. Just really shady situation. But yeah, it's weird. I had these two strange encounters with foreigners here, and I'm in the Philippines. Starting this church, I expected crazy people to show up, that the devil would plant his people. But I figured they would be, Filipinos and not foreigners. But 3 out of the 4 crazy people we've had so far were actually foreigners. But it was an interesting week. God bless everyone. Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching.